Commission presents The Story of Miriam by Gloria Kearney. Episode 4, Fading Dreams.
Many years passed, years of bitter hardship for Amram and Jochebed and their little family, years of confusion for Miriam as the dreams of deliverance began to fade. Meanwhile, Moses enjoyed the luxury of palace life, acquiring the leadership skills he would need as a prince in the land.
Oh, I'm home, Jochebed.
Amram! Oh, you look weary, my dear. Was it a hard day?
No harder than all the others. The problem is I'm getting old. Making bricks and building storehouses for the Pharaoh is a young man's job. I'm finding it hard to keep up.
Well, sit and rest. The meal's almost ready.
You know, I think I saw Moses in the distance today.
Oh, Amram! Oh, how I wish I could have been there. How does he look?
How does who look?
Oh, Miriam, come in. Your father thinks he saw Moses earlier today.
Now, don't get too excited, my dear. I'm not even sure it was him. One of the royal chariots rode through where we were working. The man in the chariot was dressed as an Egyptian, but even from a distance, I could see that he had the face of a Hebrew. If it was Moses, he's a very handsome young man.
Oh, I wish you could have spoken to him. Our son.
Your son hasn't been known to frequent Goshen too often. I'm not sure I would recognise him after all these years. I wonder what made him come.
I hope it means he hasn't forgotten his roots, his people. We very rarely see any of the royal household in Goshen.
Well, I hope he saw how cruelly we are treated.
Well, there was some sort of a commotion near him. I couldn't see too clearly. But one of the taskmasters started beating a slave, showing off in front of the royal visitor, I've no doubt. He stopped and watched for a little while.
He stopped and watched? Not much of a deliverer, is he, Father?
Oh, don't judge him too harshly, my dear. It may not even have been him, and if it was, he couldn't be seen to interfere. The deliverance we are all praying for will come in God's good time. Have patience and believe. The God of our fathers will hear our cries.
My patience and my belief are wearing thin, I'm afraid.
Some weeks later, Miriam went to visit Aaron and Elisheba and their young family.
Oh, Elisheba, I'm really worried about my father. He looks so tired. He has to work so hard every day in the blazing sun. I don't know how much longer he'll be able to keep going.
It's the same for all our men. My Aaron comes home exhausted every day, but at least he's still young enough to carry on. He's worried about Amram too, but what can we do?
What about your brother, Nashon? He's the leader of his tribe. Could he not organise the tribal leaders to meet with the Pharaoh and plead for mercy, at least for our old men? Something needs to be done.
I'm sure they have thought about it. But no one expects mercy from Pharaoh, and it might make things even worse.
Oh, it's so frustrating. Sometimes I wish our men would just rise up in rebellion.
Against the might of the Egyptian army? Miriam, our men are too weak to fight. They wouldn't stand a chance. And sometimes I look at my two little boys. I'm so afraid for them. They're growing up so fast. What will become of them? The soldiers came for my neighbour's boy the other day. He's been put to work with the other slaves. He was beaten on the very first day because he couldn't work fast enough. I think his mother might lose her mind. I can hear her wailing every day.
I know, Elisheba. It's so hard. But we have to be grateful that they have been allowed to live.
It's a living death being a slave, Miriam. A slow, painful, living death. Oh, my poor boys.
I used to think that having Moses in the palace might make a difference. I used to dream of him being our deliverer. But no longer. That dream is fading fast.
Oh, Aaron's home.
Greetings, Miriam. I heard you were here. Nadab and Abihu met me on the road to tell me that Auntie Miriam had come to visit. We'll need to bring them in soon, Elisheba. It will be dark shortly. But first, let me tell you what happened earlier today.
Could it be good news for a change?
I'm not sure whether it's good or bad. It could go either way. One of the slaves working on the Ramesses site managed to get word to us that someone had seen a prince of Egypt kill an Egyptian who was beating a Hebrew slave. They thought it might be Moses.
Why would the slave think it was Moses?
It seems he was dressed like an Egyptian, but looked like a Hebrew. There's only one person it could be.
Did you say he killed an Egyptian? No good will come of this.
The slave heard the shouting and screams of one being beaten and ran to find out what was happening. They saw the prince look round and check if anyone was watching. Then he killed the Egyptian and quickly buried him in the sand.
How did you hear about it so quickly?
Oh, we can pass messages along easily. The taskmasters don't know our language. They think it's beneath them to learn it, so we just shout news to each other and the message spreads like wildfire.
Miriam's right, you know. No good will come of it. That was a foolish thing to do.
Well, you know, it gave us some hope, a small spark of hope that things might change.
What if Pharaoh hears about it? I can only imagine the consequences.
If no one else saw, Pharaoh will never find out. We slaves are never going to tell what we know. But at least we know now that Moses is on our side.
He might be on our side, but he can't deliver us one Egyptian at a time.
Miriam, don't lose faith in God's promise. You are well established among us as a prophetess. Time and time again the words God has given you for our people have come true.
I know, Aaron, but the dreams of Moses being our deliverer were given to me when I was very young. Maybe they don't count. Maybe they were just the dreams of a foolish child.
Oh, don't think like that. They may yet come to pass.
Maybe you're right. It's getting late. I need to go home and you need to put 2 little boys to bed. It was lovely spending time with them.
They enjoyed seeing you too. Come again soon, Miriam.
Shalom. Peace to you all. Good night.
What a story Miriam told us. I'm not sure what to think. I wonder if it really was Moses. Oh, I do hope he won't get into trouble. I'm not sure it was a wise thing to do.
I heard some talk of it among the slaves yesterday, Jochebed. I didn't say too much. Very few of them know that Moses is really our son. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Now, who could that be at this time of night? Amram, you'd better go and see who it is.
Who's there?
Is this the house of Amram and Jochebed?
Who's asking?
My name is Moses.
Moses? Come in, come in. Are you really Moses? Our son, Moses?
Moses? Oh, let me look at you. I thought I would never see your face again. God is good. He has answered my prayer. Well, sit down. Sit down. Will you eat with us?
My son, why are you here? And why are you wearing simple Hebrew clothes and not the clothes of an Egyptian prince?
Father, it's a long story and I've very little time. No time to eat, I'm afraid, Mother. But I would be grateful if you could give me some water to carry with me on my journey.
Of course. Anything you need. I can't believe you're sitting in the very chair where I used to nurse you.
And where you told me stories of my ancestors and their faith in God.
You have not forgotten? You have faith in the God of our ancestors?
No, I will never forget. I've secretly begun to write down those stories. I hid them well in the palace, but now I'm giving them to you. Keep them safe. Someday, perhaps, I'll be able to return for them.
You're going away, my son? I heard rumours that you had killed an Egyptian. Is that why you're leaving?
Yes, the rumours were correct. I killed him because he was beating a Hebrew, one of my own people. I thought no one had seen me, but when I tried to intervene in a fight between 2 Hebrews the following day, One of them asked me if I was going to kill him as I'd killed the Egyptian. Then some of my friends warned me that Pharaoh had heard the story and was searching for me to kill me. That's when I knew I had to flee.
And that's why you're wearing the clothes of a slave.
Yes, I'm hoping that Pharaoh's soldiers will be looking for a well-dressed prince.
But even so, you're still in great danger, my son. Where will you go?
I've decided to follow the trade route of the Midianites. Some of their caravans might let me travel with them if I pay them well enough.
At least you wouldn't be travelling alone. Well, that would be so dangerous.
But why go to Midian, Moses?
Well, I know that some of Abraham's descendants settled there. Miriam was the fourth son of Abraham's wife Keturah. Before he died, Abraham gave gifts to Keturah's sons, but sent them away to a land in the east, so that they wouldn't be a threat to Isaac.
I remember my father telling me that story.
And it was a trading caravan from Midian that brought Joseph to Egypt. God was so good to make that provision for Jacob and his sons when the famine came. That's one of my favourite stories.
I've met many Midianites when they've come to trade at Pharaoh's palace, and I know that some of Abraham's descendants still live there. I'm hoping that I might find a welcome among them.
Did they not think it strange that the Prince of Egypt was asking questions about their country?
No. Interrogation is expected when foreigners come to visit Pharaoh. They wouldn't be allowed to trade if they didn't answer the questions put to them. And now, I need to be on my way. Pray that the God of our fathers will protect me.
Well, here's your water, my son. Oh, my prayers will follow you until the day I die. Oh, praise God that I have been allowed to see you this day. I will treasure these moments forever.
Go, my son, and may the God who protected you in the basket in the River Nile guide you and provide for you all the days of your life.
They talked for 2 hours, but Moses was agitated and needed to be on his way. His parents did the best to remain calm, but they were heartbroken when he left, walking out into an uncertain future. The next morning, very early, they sent a message to Miriam asking her to come to their house as soon as she could.
Mother, what's wrong? I came as quickly as I could when I got Father's message.
I'm never going to see him again. I won't know if he's dead or alive.
Mother, you're making no sense. Who are you talking about?
Your brother, Moses. He came here last night and now he's gone forever.
He came here?
To say farewell. He's gone to Midian.
He had to flee from Pharaoh.
Yes. At least I knew he was alive when he was in the palace. Oh, what am I going to do?
What are any of us going to do? That was my only hope, that somehow he would deliver us. And now that hope's gone. Has God forgotten us? What is to become of us? Why does he not hear our cry?
Miriam's dreams of a deliverer for her people faded and died. There seemed to be no way out from their miserable situation, no escape from the taskmaster's whip, and no answer from their God. Would Miriam's faith die along with her dreams?
In The Story of Miriam by Gloria Kearney, the part of Amram was played by John Lander and Jochebed by Hilary Dewhurst. Miriam was Candace Foster and Moses Drew Gibson. Other parts were played by members of the Commission Radio Drama team. The play was produced in Commission Studios in Belfast by Colm Flanagan. Episode 5 is entitled Desert Meeting.